I would also like to see, within the Constitution, more of an explicit layout of the duties of the Vice President. I think it's a great position that would maybe be utilized more efficiently if it had specific duties. I know in the past it was in charge of doing the budget as well as being a liaison for the publications. I think it's important that we do lay out some duties for this position. That way they're able to work with the President and as well as with the other executive board members to achieve the common goal of what we're trying to do here. I think it's great. I think that's the only change that needs to be done. Believe me, I've looked at the Constitution enough during the discussions we had in Senate. I agree with the document. I fully support it. It's there's not anything vague about it. There's nothing left up to interpretation. It's very clear, very cut and dry. What we need to do is in there, and what we have been doing is in there. And I think it's a great step up from what we were.
Carmen, Gilbert. I really like the new document. I like that it establishes better separation between the branches. I like that it really allows for growth in the associated students, and I really like how responsive it allows us to be. They basically took out what didn't need to be in the Constitution because it was muddled and it was hard to understand. There was a lot of stuff in there that shouldn't have been in there. And they basically stripped it down to the bare minimum, and then that allows the Senate to decide what needs to be set in law. And law is a lot easier to change than your Constitution. The Constitution takes forever to change. You have to rewrite it, you have to send it through Senate, it has to pass a vote of the students, then it has to go to the Board of Regents. But by changing it and reworking it, we've allowed that process to stay in the Senate. And so we can look at the things that we've established this year because we've completely reworked all of A.S.U.N through the bylaws, through the statutes. And we can go back and we can look at that and say what's not working, what is working, and it allows us to be really responsive and quick in making things work better. So those are the parts that I really like about the new Constitution. It allows us that kind of freedom and that kind of responsiveness. If I had to pick something I didn't like, as a senator sitting in that room, I wasn't a huge fan of the transition process. It was hard, it was time consuming, and sometimes I felt like we weren't prepared, but we stuck through it, and I really feel like we came out with a lot of good stuff, but it's time to go back and look at what we did do and see if it was the right thing and see if it's working. But all in all, I'm really proud of what we did, and I think that the association is in a much better place now because of the new document.
This is Dan from the Voice Box, and the question is, for all the candidates, what separates you, in light of the questions answered here, from the other candidates?
My name is Carmen Gilbert. I actually love this question. I love when students ask me this. I feel that my experience is kind of what sets me apart in my background. I started out in clubs and organizations. I did student orientation staff. I'm a student ambassador. I did a lot with the Residence Hall Association, and I served as the vice president of programming for the Residence Hall Association. I'm currently a resident assistant, and I'm currently a senator for the College of Liberal Arts. And I think all of that together, I understand clubs and organizations. I've dabbled in programming, so I have a vague idea of how it works because I did it for a year. As a senator, I understand how A.S.U.N works. I understand the legislative process. I understand the policy-making process. I am really passionate about students on a one-on-one basis. As a resident assistant, every single day I am interacting with students. As a student ambassador, I'm giving tours to these students and trying to convince them they should come here, that this is the place for them, that this is a place where they're going to grow, where they're going to really get something. And when new students come here, and I'm in student orientation staff, and it's during orientation, I love being the person to give them their first glimpse of the campus and really show them what it's all about. I think it's that my ability to interact with students and really understand students on a one-on-one basis and my true dedication to that sets me apart. But then just really me being a well-rounded candidate, clubs and organizations, programming. I've sat on budget, so I understand how it works. I've sat on the Senate, so I know legislation. I've sat on public affairs, so I understand how the outside workings beyond A.S.U.N. in the terms of petitioning. I wrote legislation this year that passed unanimously through the Senate, petitioning Governor Jim Gibbons not to cut the university budget by 8%. You'd think it'd be really easy to ignore that as somebody in the state legislature and somebody in the state government. Got a call 2 days later from somebody in the state legislature saying, is this how students really feel? Is this what they want? What do you think we should be doing? And because of all of that experience and all the different places that I've been, all the different things that I've done, and my interaction with students, I think that really sets me apart.
Hi, this is Justin Shea. Definitely, I think this is an interesting question. You know, all the candidates have unique abilities, unique visions of what the university is going towards. But I think we do have some common grounds. But what sets me apart, I think, is that I've been in the A.S.U.N for a while. I have diverse experience within the committees I've sat on. Being the chairman of academics, I am directly related to the academic side of the university, which is a huge part. Also, I sat on budget and finance, so I know how budget works. I know how the money situation works. I know, people need money. I know how to get it. Also, in terms of campus community, I sat on that. I know the ins and outs of the campus. In terms of safety, we got on safety walks around campus. I know what needs to be done, what needs to be changed in terms of that. And also, as a senator, I've done so much for the College of Business. As a senator, you are supposed to be a liaison for your college and to hear the voice your concerns for your college. As a COBUS senator, I have established the Business Student Council within the College of Business. I've also been talking with my dean about reestablishing our advising center, which is a huge problem for students, is advising. I think that I could take that motivation and drive to fix my college to better the university as a whole. I think that's a great stepping ground with establishing connections within my own individual college that will carry out into my motivation to continue the betterment of the university. And also, within my platform, I have taken initiative to already establish the connections with the right personnel to achieve what my goals are in my platform. I think it shows that I don't need to take office to establish these connections. If I do take office, I'll be able to hit the ground running and tackle the issues and problems that I've laid out in my platform. I think that's important that, getting ahead is important in terms of politics, As soon as you take office, you have to immediately take action. And I think by establishing these correct connections and the right connections within the university administration, faculty, and personnel, that is important. That sets me apart from some of the other candidates here, that shows my initiative and my drive to get stuff done on the university. And also, in terms of platform, I think my platform is very innovative. It has new ideas that haven't really been discussed yet. In terms of expanding safety outwards off of campus, also in terms of lowering textbook prices. None of the other candidates here have talked about textbook prices as terms of any academic terms within the university. I think having an innovative platform with new ideas is what sets me apart from the candidates as well. So those are kind of the points I have, but all the candidates here are very well qualified. That's just what I do in my opinion that sets me apart.
See, Reilly, it doesn't matter what I think sets me apart from these other candidates, because what I think doesn't make any difference. It depends what you, the students, feel. I mean this sincerely. Make your decision for yourself. Don't base who you're gonna vote for on us sitting up here rattling off a giant laundry list of everything that we've accomplished in A.S.U.N. I can sit here and do that, but I don't want to do that with you tonight. The things that I can offer as A.S.U.N. president are the executive experience. I have relationships around campus. I know how to accomplish my platform, which I feel is the most practical of all the candidates. But out of anything else, whoever students are out there listening right now, please vote for who you feel is going to represent you the best. Vote for the person that you feel has the experience necessary. I'm not going to sit here and talk about why I think I am more qualified than other candidates, because it is your choice. Like I said before, A.S.U.N. is in control of a lot of money next year. Just have a say in who it is. Even if it's not for me, go out there and vote for someone, because that's what's important. Go online, look at all of our platforms, and decide for yourself. It doesn't matter what any one of us in this room think is more important than any other quality of any other candidate. It's up to you to decide, and I challenge every single student on this campus who is listening to this podcast and who is listening to this radio cast to go out and do that. Look at all of our websites, we're all on Facebook, and decide for yourself.
To clarify, I'm not on Facebook.
Sorry.
Well, I heard the word experience a lot in those last three comments, and to be honest, I didn't even know how to get involved.